Hello and welcome. Today we will see module 4, that is related to the energy principles and energy theorems. Okay, this is the module 4 for VTU syllabus, and in this we will come across different methods to find out the displacement, deformation, or even external effects of the loads. Okay, so we have different method, either it may be a strain energy method or unit load method. Okay, these are the some of the different methods what we have in the analysis of energy principles. Okay, why basically why we need energy principle means it will gives the relationship between the stress strain, deformation, displacement, even the material properties, and also external effects in the form of energy or work done by internal and external forces. Okay, it will relate each other to get a one common equation, and it will be helpful to solve either it may be a determinant or indeterminate structure. Okay, basically these are the commonly used energy principles in the structural analysis, that is virtual work principle, elastic system, linear elastic system. These are commonly used in energy principles. Okay, we will see virtual work principle now. So before that, we should know virtual work in order to know about virtual work principle. So virtual means it is an imaginary, that I mean to that you have to know before knowing the concept. See, virtual work means it is a imaginary work. It is caused due to imaginary load applied, and it will cause us a imaginary displacement. That you have to keep it in mind. Okay, see, the definition is as follows. It is defined as work done by real force acting through virtual displacements. Their virtual displacements need not be real and can be virtual. Okay, so you are applying a real force, it will cause us a imaginary displacement. That imaginary displacement need not be real. Okay, it may be real sometimes or need not be real. It can be virtual. Okay, it can be imaginary. So if you are applying a load, sometimes the displacement will happen. Okay, that we will imagine the displacement. Okay, that what it is called as work done. Okay, it is always the product of force into displacement that will gives the work. So here also imaginary work means the work, if you apply a load, a real load on an object, it will undergo displacement, that is imaginary displacement, or sometimes it may be a real also. Okay, principle of virtual work, even it will be related to the same definition what I told earlier. See, it is the most fundamental principle used in the energy principles. Okay, and it is basically used for the analysis of indeterminate structures as well as the determinate structures. And a very advantage is it will relate all the forces, either it may be stresses or internal forces or external forces, or sometimes even the gravitational pull or even the external force applied. So it will relate everything. Basic concept of principle of virtual work means the internal work done will be equal to external work done, or we can say in another terms also, total work done will be equal to internal work done plus external work done. And it is noted that internal and external work done will be one and the same. Okay, that's the main concept in the principle of virtual work. And the statement is as follows. It states that stresses, body forces are nothing but gravitational force, self weight of the object. Okay, these are the body forces. And even some of the forces like area, due to area you have a force, wind pressure, fluid pressure. Okay, all this will be related. Okay, it states that stresses, body forces, even the forces like area forces, wind pressure, fluid pressures, etc., are in equilibrium if and only if the internal work equal to the external virtual work for every virtual displacement. Okay, so here that what I told, internal virtual work will be equal to external virtual work, that you have to keep it in mind, and total work will be equal to internal work plus external work. That what I considered here. See here, total work that will be equal to internal as well as external virtual work, and it is, we are considering it as 0, then we can directly say that internal work will be equal to external work. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind, though that's the basic concept of the energy principle. That is the forces acting, either it may be stresses, body forces, either it may be wind pressure, fluid pressure, whatever it may be, they are said to be in equilibrium if and only if internal virtual work will be equal to external virtual work. Okay, that's the basic statement for the principle of virtual work, and that will be the basic what we can say step in order to analyze the various forces in the members by considering energy principles. Okay, after knowing the virtual work principle, now we will see what do you mean by strain energy. Okay, as you know, strain energy can be stored in any object. Okay, and sometimes if you release the load, then it will regain its original position. That indicates the strain energy can be removed, and sometimes strain energy cannot be removed, it may remains permanent. That I will explain. Okay, basic definition is as follows: energy stored in an elastic body under loading or due to deformation is called strain energy. Okay, clear now? So energy stored in an elastic body under loading or due to deformation is called strain energy. And it is very important thing is if the strain energy imposed are within the elastic limits, then we can say the body will recovers all the it will releases all the strain energy. That I will explain you. Imagine for example, I am considering this one. Yeah, for example, I am considering a rubber band. Okay, so it is as follows. Imagine this object is under elastic limit. Okay, elastic limit means stress will be directly proportional to strain. Okay, that then only we can say that one will be under elastic limit. Okay, so imagine I am considering the rubber which is under elastic limit, and now I applied a load, so it will changes its, or it will undergo deformation. That indicates there will be a strain energy in this member. Okay, once if you release the load, it will regains its original position. It will regains its original position. That you can, yeah, wait, I will reduce the diameter. Yeah, now you can see. See, this is the elastic member or elastic body I considered. So if I apply a load, it will undergo deformation. Once if I release the load, it will reach its original position. That indicates if the body is under elastic limit. Okay, if the body is under elastic limit, whatever the strain energy applied on the member will be released. Okay, only in the case of elastic limit. Okay, that you can see from this one. Imagine if the body is applied, if you apply a strain energy more than the elastic limit, okay, then what will happen means the some part of the strain energy will remains in the what we can say a body, so that will not undergo that strain energy we cannot remain. So imagine I am considering a plastic cover. Okay, a thin layer of plastic cover. Say I am applying a load on this. Okay, that you can see here. I am considering a plastic cover. I am applying a load or I am applying a strain energy, so it will undergo deformation. You can see that one. So this deformation, even after the release also, see, if you apply a load, it will undergo deformation, that you can see here. Okay, even after the application of load, it will changing here, but after releasing the load also, it will remains its in the same position. That indicates the strain energy is, some part of strain energy is there in this body. When this condition is holds good, means if the body is over the elastic limit, if you load a body over the elastic limit, then we can say some portion of strain energy will remains on the object. That you can see from the two demonstration what we are given. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind. So if within the elastic limit, strain whatever you applied, that will be released. Okay, if you apply load other than the elastic limit, some portion of the strain will be there on the object permanently. Okay, that is called as permanent deformation. Okay, yeah. And after knowing the strain energy, you should know complementary strain energy. So it is very important thing is, complementary strain energy and strain energy are one and the same when the object is under elastic limit. Okay, if it is exceeding the elastic limit, then only we can say that one differs with the strain energy. See, I am considering a stress strain curve and I considered a linear line. So if it is linearly varying, then we can say stress and strain are directly proportional. If it is the case, then we can say strain energy will be equal to complementary strain energy. Okay, that is mathematically we can say like this: the area enclosed by the inclined line and the vertical axis is called as complementary strain energy. That what we are given here. See, this is a strain energy. So these both are one and the same when the stress strain curve is linear. Okay, and that what I given here. Okay, complementary strain energy means this is additional strain energy due to the application of strain energy. This will be added. So and that one will be one and the same when when the material is in elastic limit. Okay, thank you. These are the some definitions you should know before going to the strain energy concept. Okay, if you know this one, we can easily solve strain energy concepts. Okay, you have 4 derivations. That is strain energy due to unit load, strain energy due to bending, strain energy due to shear, strain energy due to torsion. These are the 4 derivations you have. Those 4 derivations are very important. Definitely you will get any one in the examination. Yeah, thank you. We'll see some more videos in the upcoming days. Thank you.